Good morning, everybody. I'm still sick. I'm really over it. Slept like 10 hours yesterday. Probably gonna do that today. So that's how I take care of myself when I'm not feeling well. It's bone broth, bone broth, bone broth, and sleep, 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 sleep. And I kind of wish I was getting better faster. But anyway. So I had two things I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to get back on that whole food freedom thing because as I'm looking around, I can see that part of the reason people go off the rails on food freedom is they're not sticking to the template. So the reason you feel so good on Whole30 is because you've turned from a sugar burner to a fat burner. And your hormones are balanced, or at least in the stage of getting more balanced. Sometimes that takes a while, I get it. But, so what I'm seeing is people going food freedom and maybe they're eating breakfast, but they're not sticking to the meal template, which is the palm-sized protein, a plate of fat, a plate of veggies, and a plated fat and a cooking fat. You can add, so say you do okay with non-gluten grains. Okay, so maybe you want to add oats to your breakfast. Fine, but you still need to have the protein, the fat, and the veg. That's what's going to keep your hormones balanced. That's what's going to keep you in food freedom, and that's what's going to keep you from going off the rails. So, for lunch, you don't skip breakfast or skip lunch or skip dinner. And even if you're doing intermittent fasting, you still do all three of those meals. You just do it in a shorter time frame. So what I'm getting at is you don't throw away the template when you're on food freedom. You stick to that, and that's what keeps you on the straight and narrow. You add in the foods that are allowed. You maybe have the occasional, is it worth it food? But you don't do that on a daily basis. If you're gonna have a cupcake, you have a cupcake when it's the best cupcake ever. You don't have some crappy store-bought one because it showed up in your office. You wait for the real thing because you know that's worth it. And if you're not sure what's worth it and what's not worth it, if you're standing in front of something and you really, really want it, if you had 5 items that you could be on a deserted island with, and you could survive on them, and, it wasn't water or something like that. But if it was one of 5 items, would you eat it? Or would you take it? And if the answer is no, maybe a Publix cupcake isn't worth it, but maybe my grandma's red velvet vanilla cream icing is worth it. So you save it for that, because you don't need no crappy, and I don't mean to say this to Publix, because Publix makes really good cupcakes, but if you're going to have the chocolate, you have the Belgian chocolate. You have the Godiva. You don't eat the Hershey's. How's that? Is that a better way? So that's how you know when it's worth it. And while you're standing in front of that thing, you think to yourself, this may hurt me later. And if it hurts, Zuzu's running around like an idiot. And if it hurts, is it going to affect my ability to do A, B, C, and D later today or tomorrow? And if the answer is you can't afford to be not feeling well, then you put it down. And that's pretty much what food freedom is. Watch out, fly on my camera. Deer fly season. They're everywhere. So there's that. Also, I wanted to issue a little challenge to you because I think this will be super fun. And I'll actually write this out because I don't know how many people really watch these videos. But I want you to find the most complicated ingredient label that you can find. And it can be Whole30. It doesn't have to be Whole30, but I want you to post it. And then we're gonna do is this Whole30? And if so, why? And if not, why not? Because your reading label skills are so important. There's some things that trip me up from time to time, and I just go to the can I have, or just Google, is sodium di blah blah Whole30 compliant. Because sometimes, I don't know, they come up with different words for things, you know. What used to be sugar is now dextrose, and you know, sugar has like 51, probably now 101 different names. So in your travels today, when you're making stuff, take a look at some labels, take a little picture, and then put up, is this Whole30? And then we'll all play and answer. Okay? All right, guys. Sorry I'm all out of breath. I had to take the dogs for a walk, though. So, but anyway, see you later.